Hello guys, you are welcome to my YouTube channel History Net JRF classes. So today in this video lecture I am going to deal on paper 1 first unit teaching aptitudes fourth subunit. I have divided this fourth subunit into two part 1 and part 2. In my previous video in part 1 I have discussed about methods of teaching, whether it is teacher centered or learner centered. In this part 2 I am going to deal on offline method and online methods. Under online methods I will discuss these three, Swayam, Swayamprabha and MOOCs in detail, because these three are mentioned specifically in your syllabus, as well as questions are framed from this, so it is very important for NET. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, so please go and subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you get notification of my next video on time and there is no hamper to your preparation. It will go on smoothly. So here we go. The first thing is that when teaching learning process is taking place, we have to first set the objectives. These objectives can be at three levels. Okay, these three levels are cognitive, affective and psychomotor. Once these objectives are set, we have to look into the method of teaching, like what methods are being going to be employed. So it can be teacher centered or learner centered. About this method I have discussed in part 1. Okay, and the final comes how are you going to execute, whether it's in offline mode or online mode. So today's lecture is on this offline method of teaching as well as online method of teaching. So what is an offline method of teaching? Simple thing is that you have to remember it takes place at some location where both the teachers and learners are present physically. So there is physical interaction. It takes place at a fixed location at a fixed schedule. Because of this fixed nature, it is not flexible at all. It can take place. So what are those physical environment? It can take place in a lecture hall, college room, classroom or in an open area. Remember this. This is the interaction location where both the teacher and learner are going to interact. So because of this interaction, face-to-face interaction is possible. So this was all about offline method of teaching. Next we will look into what are the benefits of offline methods. So the first of all, it develops collaborative learning. It means how you collaborate with the people, with the learner or with someone else. It develops that skill. It develops your organizing skill, because when you are indulged in offline methods of teaching, then you are taking notes, you are making some notes, then the process of documentation come, that how you document your things, how you document your notebooks, how you organize them. The next is organizing skills include, because this method demand physical interaction, so you have to be present at a given location at a fixed schedule. So accordingly you schedule you plan your day, like from this to this time I'm going to attend the lecture, from this to this time I will take rest, then I will go for any games or sports, I will play any sports, or I will go for gym or any yoga. So this is how you organize your daily 24 hours. So this method helps in this. It helps in the presentation skills. Say for example, when this teaching learning process is taking inside a classroom, then there's some assignment or there is some seminar work is given, and you have to present in the form of PPT in front of your classmates who can be an audience at that time. So it develops that skill. It helps in the development of team spirit. How? Because if you are given any case studies, project work, then you have to work in a team. Or if you are representing your college, school or university somewhere in any sports, in any quiz, so you have to develop that, how you collaborate and how you also resolve the conflict. So team spirit becomes very important here. It helps in the development of critical thinking, because when this teaching learning process is going on, there can be one method called discussion method in the class. So and in that method, different learners have their own point of view on any particular topic. So you as a learner will listen to everyone and you try to absorb, and then you will analyze their viewpoint, and at the end you will synthesize. This analysis and synthesis is part of cognitive domain, that is cognitive objective. So when you are looking to my previous videos, you will come to know about this. So it develops in critical thinking, because you start questioning everything, you start looking for the reason. Okay, what is the concept, how is it working? Then it teaches social interaction. Very simple, because you are interacting in a physical environment. There is a possibility that you can interact with your friends, with your teachers, non-teaching staffs, or someone else. So because of this development of this social interaction, you can very much well socialize in your society also. That helps in the development. It molds your communication skills, listening skills, because this is a physical interaction thing. So you will communicate with someone else. Okay, social interaction is there. So in that process you develop how to speak, how to articulate your words. At the same time you become a listener also, because if you're not a good listener, then the communication is not going to take place, because every person wants to be listened, like what they are saying. So these were the benefits of offline methods. Next, what is an online method of teaching? So the very first thing is that it takes place in virtual learning environment. It is a web based platform. In this virtual learning there is no actual physical interaction. Via web portal, via internet, you are interacting with your friends, or maybe with your, because it is teaching method, then with your teacher. It demands more independence. This was missing in offline method of teaching, so that students can learn materials when teacher is unavailable. In that mode, in the offline method, teacher has to be available, but in this method, teacher may be not available at that point of time. Then also learner can learn. It can be both synchronous as well as asynchronous. So what is synchronous? It is simple live participation through virtual medium. Okay, it can take place through real time learning, live chats, streaming video platforms, web conferencing, telephone availability, virtual office hours. Right now I will upload this video, so it is not synchronous, it is asynchronous. But when I go live on my channel, then it become synchronous, because I am syncing at the same time with my viewers, with you learners. Okay, then that is synchronous, but this is asynchronous. So what is asynchronous? I told you. So it is useful for those who cannot attend scheduled session. For example, when I upload this video, you can revisit again and again according to your convenience. You can have control on your own learning, like at what time you want to look into video, up to what, up to 5 minutes, up to 10 minutes, or you want to revise. So you can decide in your own. So it gives full independence, very flexible. It includes pre-recorded lectures and presentations. Yes, it allows learner to work at their own pace. I told you this. Learner communicates. Now in virtual environment, how you communicate? It can be through discussion boards, web forums, and social media tools. There are lots of portals where you can put your queries and the teacher will reply to that, or you can have a discussion board where you can discuss with your other classmates or with other learners. So this is how you communicate in online method of teaching. Next is, what are the benefits? It is very flexible in nature, so learner and teacher, like it suits both of them. They can decide, they can manage their time. They don't have to be very much because it is not rigid. It doesn't demand a fixed time and a fixed location. It's not like that. You can be sitting anywhere in this world and you can access the teaching, what teacher is teaching. It gives plenty of choices. Yeah, look, when I will upload this video, there are few previous videos are also there. So you can pick randomly, like in which on which topic you want to watch videos, in which topic you want to have drill, you want to practice more and more. It develops self discipline. Yes, because you have to motivate yourself on your own. You have to very much disciplined, otherwise you will fail in this teaching learning process. It automatically documents. In offline mode, I have talked about documentation, like you have to arrange, you have to keep your notes, written materials in a proper way. But here in online method, you don't have to bother about it at all. It will document on its own. Say for example, for my own channel, then there are playlist. Okay, you can easily go and access it at any point of time. And very soon I will upload pdfs also. So you don't have to worry about those pdfs, because even if you lose it, say for example your drive is not working, it is very much damaged, so you can access all this material at any point of time. right? You don't have to worry, okay, it's not there, what should I do? But if it was an offline method, then you have to ask your friends, you have to ask teachers, you have to take the Xerox, or maybe you have to note down, you have to copy everything. So this is the great advantage of online method of teaching. It gives personalized attention. Yeah, when a learner is there, and if that learner is having any lacking in any concepts, or in any subjects, then the teacher can redesign the teaching process for that particular student, so that that particular student should learn it well, should understand the concept well. So it gives personalized attention, because when there is discussion is going on in the discussion forum, so if a learner is having problem in particular, say for example in maths, so teacher can pay personalized attention, give them more problems to practice, help them more to clear their doubts. Because of this online teaching method, there is an emergence of ed tech space. What is that? Today, these days, we are what we see, there are new learning application, for example Byju's, an academy, Khan Academy, and other MOOCs. So because of this learning application, ease of access is also very uh, convenient for the people, that helps to explain concept anywhere and any time of day. Yes, flexibility. So these were the benefits of online methods of teaching. Now, what is SWAYAM? Okay. So first of all, SWAYAM is an acronym, and it stands for Study Waves of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds. This is very important. Okay. And you should learn it word by word, because many a time in MCQs, they will replace learning with learner. Maybe you young with youth, aspiring with inspiring. So you have to be very much clear. It's an Indian MOOC platform. What is MOOC? MOOC is a massive open online course. About this, I will discuss in detail. So just relax here. It's an online learning portal. True. It uses ICT. What is ICT? Information Communication Technology. In ICT, there is basically the integration of telecommunication, like telephone as well as internet, and through this integration you communicate. So in SWAYAM it is important, because ICT, you can access the SWAYAM portal through internet also. If you don't have internet, you can't access it. So you have to have a medium of internet, that how you are going to log in into SWAYAM. So it's because it's a portal. On portal you have to make your ID. It was launched by Pranav Mukherjee in 2017. Okay, it was developed indigenously. MOOC is not an indigenous development. Okay, but SWAYAM is developed indigenously by whom? MHRD and AICTE. MHRD Ministry and AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education. So these two, they developed this SWAYAM together, and it is a very indigenous in nature. SWAYAM thrives on three cardinal principles: access, equity, and quality. It doesn't talk about quantity. Here, quality is very important. Access, ease of access, like it should be accessible to everyone. And in equity means that it is equal for all. It doesn't discriminate, like it is open for all. SWAYAM hosts courses from 9th to PG, postgrad. It has four quadrants: e-tutorial, e-content, discussion forum, and assessment. Under e-tutorial, there are teaching videos, teaching animations, PPTs, podcasts, etc. Under e-content, e-books, illustrations, case studies, reference link. Under discussion forum, same thing, interaction amongst students and with faculties. They will clear their doubt, or they will discuss more. It will help in the development of critical thinking also. And finally, the assessment. How are you going to do assessment? It can be through MCQs, quiz, short answer. I have taught in my previous videos that in every teaching learning process, the final thing is assessment. Okay, because SWAYAM host courses from 9 to PG. So at the end, they will assess like how far the learner have learned, and how far the set objective has been achieved. Okay, that objective, it can be cognitive, affective, or psychomotor. Assessment also includes FA quiz, frequently asked questions, and their answers. So the contents are managed by 9 national coordinators. Okay, at school level it's NIOS, NCERT. At out of school it's IGNOU, NITTR. At UG level NPTEL, AICTE, SEC, IIMB. At PG NPTEL, AICTE, IIMB, UGC. Okay, UGC is here, it's not in this. The same goes with SEC. SEC is here but it is not in this. I will discuss the full form because questions are always set on there. Acronyms, abbreviations. So NIOS stands for National Institute of Open Schooling, NCERT National Council of Educational Research and Training, IGNOU Indira Gandhi National Open University, NITTR National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, AICTE All India Council for Technical Education, SEC Consortium for Educational Communication, IIMB Indian Institute of Management Bengaluru, NPTEL National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, UGC University Grants Commission. So please remember this carefully because you have to remember it word by word. Lots of time they will change, like in place of commission they will put commissioner, in place of grant they will put gives. So you have to be very careful in MCQs. So whatever courses are offered by SWAYAM are recognized by Government of India. Okay, and in 2016 UGC has brought in one regulation and that demands that whatever uh, that credits, whatever courses you have taken under SWAYAM, it can be transferred to your university. So lots of universities have made changes and lots of universities haven't adopted it yet. Hopefully in the future it will work. So what was that regulation? It was credit framework for online learning courses through SWAYAM. Okay. So next is Swayam Prabha. It's an education learning platform. It is basically telecast like this. Okay, I will tell in detail. It is free DTH channel for education. DTH means direct to home. It is a group of 32 DTH channels and they telecast educational program 24 into 7 using GSET 15 satellite. Remember this GSET and this how many number of channels. Who are the coordinators who provide content? Then they are NPTEL, IITs, UGC, SEC, IGNOU, NCERT and NIOS. Here AICTE is missing. Okay, AICTE is providing content to whom? To SWAYAM. Here AICTE is not there and the same is IIMB is also not here, right? Okay, so how many coordinators provide? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, total 7. In SWAYAM we had 9. So who manages the web portal? It is managed by Inflibnet because they have to telecast it and it is very useful for those areas where internet haven't reached yet. Okay, where internet availability is still a challenge. So DTH channels covers higher education, that is PG and UG, school education 9 to 12, and they also assist students for competitive exams at class 11 and class 12 level. Like basically after 10th majority of students will opt either for AIMS, NEET or for IITs or NITs. So they also help in that preparation. So these channels, these 32 DTH channels that I was talking about, they are uplinked from BSAG, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. What is BSAG? Remember this, it's a acronym for Bhaskarachar Institute for Space Applications and Geoinformatics. Remember this. So one was that satellite and other is where it is uplinked. Next, okay, yeah, it has a new content every day for at least 4 hours. Every day one new content will be telecasted and that new content will be repeated 5 times. That is total 4 into 5, how many hours? 25 20 hours, sorry, 20 hours. Okay, so because of this flexibility, learner can fix their time, like at what time they want to watch those telecasted channels on particular topic, right? It gives flexibility. Same is here. Okay, then next is MOOC. It is also an acronym of Massive Open Online Courses. So remember this. It ensures unlimited participation. There is no restriction as such. It ensures open access via the web. SWAYAM is also a MOOC. Okay, It also required a web. Here also it requires web. It provides traditional courses as well as interactive courses. Traditional courses can be in the form of any lectures that are recorded and uploaded there, readings, problems. Interactive course, it what does it mean? Interaction simply, okay, to support community interaction among students, professor and teaching assistants. So how you interact? Through discussion forum, I have told you earlier, social media tools. So this is the means of interaction in MOOC. MOOC gives immediate feedback. Remember this, it's very important. It was first introduced in 2008 and it is not indigenous. It was not first introduced in India. SWAYAM is indigenous, but MOOC is not. It became popular by 2012, and even in that year, the New York Times, right? New York Times declared it as the year of the MOOC. So what are the MOOC platforms? It's Coursera, Udacity, edX, Lynda, Udemy, Khan Academy and all these. The MOOC platforms in India, please remember this, it's important. So what are the MOOC platforms in India? NPTEL, MOOCit, IITBX and SWAYAM. Okay. So guys, these were all about this today's video. So in the next video I will be discussing the fifth subunit of first unit, teaching aptitude, and that fifth subunit is going to be teaching support system. Like it is categorized in, classified into three: traditional, modern and ICT. So I will be discussing on these. So please give your feedback in the comment box that how you like it, and please like my videos, share it at maximum and subscribe to my channel. And you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, the links are given, and Telegram. Yeah, we have opened on Telegram also, so that you can have notification very easily. So please guys, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon and share it. Thank you very much.